live and only 17 minutes late from the parking lot of Sprouts Farmers Market.
Which is just a regular grocery store.
Yeah, it's a regular grocery store. But anyway, we're here. And it hasn't started raining yet, but it will, supposedly, for a whole day. Be that as it may, we have a special guest with us this morning.
What do you want, Lon?
Mr. Green Jeans, what do you have for us?
Codamundi.
A Colamundi.
That's Codamundi, but never mind.
A Codamundi is a musical score.
An armadillo, a possum, an octopus, a baby alligator.
And Zippy the chimpanzee.
Let's go.
Okay, here.
I have shopping to do.
She's got shopping to do. I'm going to turn this around. And hopefully. And there she is. No.
I don't know. I still don't know if you can see me when Lon turns it around. Doesn't matter.
A pretty girl.
Oh, please. Anyway, good morning. It's a gloomy Tuesday. It's been very gloomy all week and cold, but you know it's not snowing here.
Yes.
It's not snowing here. Other people have snow.
And it's not Iowa.
And it's not Iowa for other reasons besides not snowing. No offense, Iowa. I grew up in Nebraska.
Gateway to Iowa.
No, it isn't. They never said that. That was not. It was the beef state, which is why I immediately turned vegetarian and I left. But
The
never
beef
mind.
state.
Anyway, I forgot completely. Oh, even our turtle has SAD. It's so gloomy. She has a little lamp besides her heat lamp, just a regular, it's a incandescent, but it's a full spectrum light bulb too that I put on for about an hour a day so she doesn't have to take any holy basil or ashwagandha or rhodiola or whatever. Anyway, or lion's mane. Oh.
She is a laudanum addict, though.
That's because she had to do something to endure living with us.
Yes, it's sort of the ladies' drug.
Anyway, the other night, I've been staying up too late because I have this. Anyway, because we always seem to have days like today when we're not home in time for my coffee break, which is ideally about 12:30. Well, that almost never happens, but I had my coffee like between 4 and 5 the other day, and my 1 cup of coffee, and I refused to not do it because it's my inspiration and my relief. Am I sitting down?
It's your laudanum.
It's my laudanum and my cocaine. But anyway, because I was had my coffee so late that I was taking my bath about 11:30, and it was cold outside, and we had our shots too. Alon's been talking about it, but I got our last COVID vaccination, the last one available. Probably not the last, and I don't do it well. My doctor says because I have a good immune system, and that's what the guy who gives us the shot said.
But in your delirium, you talk about the abyss and things like.
I know, but that's
it's good stuff.
I make burritos in my delirium. So what?
Burritos for breakfast.
I know. I was like totally gone. I had terrible fever and chills and aches and tired and whiny and wanting to go home, which of course by that I mean Costa Mesa halfway, and that doesn't exist, and wanting my mommy who's been not on this earth for a long time. So I don't take those things well. But thank goodness I got them because I probably would not make it through the real thing if anyway. I don't do well on the vaccination. So anyway, I was in the bathtub. I'm in very hot water. I've been taking almost too hot because I had fever and chills and everything, and I decided I was having a comfort till I came back. Lon was still awake playing on his telephone doing something. Instead of going to sleep, and I said,
It is important junk. I was doing
It was the second part of that sentence was true.
doing really important junk.
Anyway, I was having I interviewed myself. I had a discussion about the nature of reality, you know, what all delirious people who have had their coffee late in a too hot bathtub do. There was too much blood rushing to my brain.
I just want to run in there and say, tell me about reality, dear.
He didn't want me to talk about it later either. He never does. I finally mentioned it this morning, which is like a week later, almost. Lon doesn't want to hear about the nature of reality, and neither would you. You probably don't either. But I was thinking, I'll briefly talk about it, very briefly. Now, they'll say less about it than I just went through. I was thinking how everybody, no matter what political party or what religion or philosophy or emotional state you're in, or, well, whatever race you are, or gender, people right now tend to be saying, and because things seem to be really screwed up on all levels of existence, or maybe, you know, I mean, I hope for you they're not. That means, oh, thank God. One or the other. Anyway.
You're trying to say the world seems fucked, right?
Yeah, but I don't swear. I don't swear very well. I tend to say, you know, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, or
rats.
Rats. Like, or
oh, fudge.
Fudge, I have said yes. And I want to say bloody hell, but never mind. You're making me digress into swear words. Oh, bloody hell, you're making me digress into swear words.
You damn fool.
Okay. People are saying it's so bad that it just doesn't seem real anymore. I mean, nothing seems real. And the pandemic helped with that. I mean, nothing seems real at any level of anything. It just doesn't seem real. Things are so bad. It just seems beyond repair, and nothing seems real. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm always talking about crossing the abyss, which is just an imaginary perception that you're separate from your source or God or universal purpose, whatever. And maybe you're not. Maybe you are totally rooted in the fact that you put all your trust in yourself, and you're rooted in the fact that Deus es homo, and which is true, but you have to get there from the other end, kind of. So if you're already there, good for you. I'm trying to put my trust in myself, but I'm considering myself my source, and everybody else at the same time, the many and the one. So anyway, that's myself. Myself is a wide-ranging, multi-dimensional. So anyway, and that's where reality and truth lie, is above the abyss, or when you cross that gap anyway of your delusional perceptions disappear, and there's really nothing to be afraid of. Everything is really better, but you think you're addicted to, or you really want your delusional perceptions. So you don't say the obvious when you're saying, everything seems not real, I don't know what to do. You're halfway there. Relax.
That's the first step.
That's the first really big step. Nothing is real. So, anyway, so whenever anything happens, I'm trying to ask myself, just to really, and I'm asking you on any level of our existence, is this true? When we get upset about something, are we worried about something? Maybe we're projecting what might happen, even if it's in the next 5 minutes, or the next 5 days, or the next 5 months, or the next 5 years. Are we projecting what might happen, and something negative, and anyway, so is that real? So maybe I want to start examining what's real by, whatever means, hook or crook, what's real. And because, it doesn't seem real because it isn't. I think reality is something that is safe and sure and loving and creative and certain. It's certainty in life.
There you go.
And and probably changeless too. So is it real? Is it true what we're worried about all the time? Or should we just say no, it isn't, and get on with trying to link our purpose up with the universal purpose and with each other? And that's my little message for the day. Healing and peace and blessings of freedom from fear.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm going to sort of talk about that in just a second here too.
He's got a book to help them, though. He makes me ad-lib, babbling ad-libs.
I think that's wisest.
Not to have a
That's what we all want. Okay.
Oh, Lon wants it on Tuesdays. I'm going to go shopping now.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
With nothing is real.
Thank you very much for your rendition of Strawberry Fields. So, and nothing to get hung up on. Hung about. Oh, yeah. Okay. I almost pressed finish. Ooh, that's not good. I'll press this button instead.
Not what you want to do to me. You want to switch it on to you, dear.
Okay, I'm going to reset up things here. And it hasn't started raining yet, dear. So.
Good. I've taken off my glasses to go shopping. I just put them on to make me look smart.
Yes. That it really helped. It really helped. Okay,
Remember there's puppies in here for later.
Okay.
Bye-bye, you all.
Bye. Get some of that good bread.
There's no good bread at this store.
We don't eat much bread.
That's not true.
We eat too much bread, which
That's
is
true either.
hardly any at all.
Is this true? I'm asking. Is what Lon's saying true?
No. Nothing I say is true. Everything I say is untrue.
That's not true.
Though true, I try to make it. But as soon as the words escape my lips, would I had never spake it.
Goodbye, darling.
Goodbye. Goodbye. She got me thinking. Okay, our discussion before we got out of bed this morning was even more profoundly meaningful to me anyway. About the idea of everyone thinks that the great big magical crisis, the crossing of the abyss, is such a big thing, and Crowley makes such a big thing about it and everything else. But in reality, it's what every mystic that has ever gone on record as gaining any sort of wise enlightenment experiences, and it's only because of people in our a circle of friends are used to the vocabulary of Kabbalah and things like that. Do we think, oh, I got it from the Adeptus Exemptus, Adeptus Minor, and I don't know if I... adeptus exemptus, and I got to give up the master of the temple, the logos of the second. Yeah, well, all of that's true, but it's like discussing language instead of discussing the meaning that language is trying to communicate. So it's just like, I love grammar. Okay. So I started remembering little snippets, and one little snippet was from the wake world. Now, somebody has just recently emailed me about doing a class on the wake world. Well, I haven't done a class on the wake world on camera here, but almost every year at Monday night class, we would do a round-robin reading of Crowley's charming little story from Kong Pox called The Wake World. And it's like a Alice in Wonderland climb up the tree of life. And so we put a big tree of life out on the floor and put a little baby doll on tree of life. And one of the class members moves the doll from Sephiroth all the way to the Sephira all the way up to the from 10 to 1, and on each little path, because it's the whole story of Lola Daydream is a climb up the tree of life. And it's just very charming. Crowley wrote it very early in his magical career. It's just a tour de force of Kabbalistic understanding on just more or less a basic Golden Dawn level. And so Lola's got a fairy prince that kisses her. And every time he kisses her, she wakes up a little bit more. Okay, and the major levels of that wake-upness is on the Tree of Life, Sephiroth, from 10 to 9 to 8 to 7 to 6 and everything. But the fairy prince is her holy guardian angel. And so the Crowley grasped the idea of until you're properly married to the holy guardian angel, or in other words, until you've truly achieved a specific level of awakening, you don't know what's in your best interest or what is not in your best interest. You're not fully you yet, okay? And but then your fairy prince from the true marriage ceremony that takes place in number 6, where he's the prince, okay, prince of the macrocosm, who's married your microcosm. And you get yourself through higher levels representing number 5, and then number 4, and then something strange happens at number 4. And that's because 3, 2, and 1 are very, very different. They are truer, but truer on a non-dual manner that you would just never properly grasp any lower on the tree. And everything that you thought that, as Constance was saying, that's where everything that you thought was real is not real to you anymore, at least not in the same way. And the point she made this morning in bed this morning was that it seems like everybody that we know, the entire world, the entire scene of humanity is this state of, this isn't real anymore. It just doesn't seem real anymore. And of course, psychiatrists would say, "Well, that's a textbook case of, I believe it's called, you're crazy. You're gone crazy." Yeah, well, maybe in one way you are. But there is that point, and that the Kabbalists pinpoint it and put it right there at number 4, and Adeptus Exemptus, okay? That everything, in order for you to actually do something with the shit that you've got together to get there, okay, because you got to get your shit together to get to 4. Now, what do you do with your shit? You realize you've never had any shit. Okay. The leap of, gee, what's real anymore, disappears with the realization that nothing is real anymore. On the in the wake world here, Lola's finally got her princess finally got her to the 4th house, which is Hesed on the Tree of Life. The 4th house is the most wonderful of all I've ever seen. It is the most heavenly blue mansion. It is built of beryl and amethyst and lapis lazuli and turquoise and sapphire. The center of the floor is a pool of the purest aquamarine, and in it is water. Only you can see every drop as a separate crystal, and the blue tinge filtering through the light. And above there hangs a calm yet mighty globe of deep sapphire blue. Round it there were 9 mirrors, and there's a noise that means, when you understand it, joy, joy, joy. There are violet flames darting through the air, each one a little sob of happy love. One began to see what the dream world really was at last. Every time anyone kissed anyone for real love, it was a little throb of violet flame in this beautiful house, in the wake world. And we bathed and swam in the pool, and we were so happy you can't think. But they said, "Little girl, you must pay for the entertainment." Oh, I forgot to tell you, there was music like fountains make as they rise and fall, only, of course, much more wonderful than that. That's a digression. So I asked what I must pay, and they said, "You are now mistress of all these houses, from the 4th to the 9th. You have managed the servants' hall well enough since your marriage. Now you must manage the others, because till you do, you can never go on to the 3rd house." So I said, "It seems to me that they are all in perfectly good order." But they took me up in the air, and then I saw that the outsides, this is outside the Tree of Life house, that the outsides were horribly disfigured, with great advertisements, and every single house had written on it. Now, every house, every Sephora. "First house," Kether. "This is His Majesty's favorite residence. No other genuine. Beware of worthless imitations. Come here and spend life. Come here and see the serpent eat its tail. I was so furious, as you may imagine, and had men go and put all the proper numbers on them and little sarcastic remarks to make them ashamed. So they read, "Fifth house, Gebura, and mostly dream at that. Seventh house, external splendor and internal corruption," and so on. And so on each one I put, "No thoroughfare from here to the first house. The only way is out of doors, by order," unquote. This was frightfully annoying because in the old days we could walk about inside everywhere and not get wet if it rained. But nowadays there isn't any way from the fourth to the third house. You could go on, of course, by the chariot from the fifth to the third, the chariot card, the path of Chet, and I'm going to get to that in a second. Or go through the house where the twins live from the sixth to the third. But that isn't allowed unless you have been to the fourth house too and go from there at the same time. Okay, it goes on. It's very charming, very entertaining, and you know, for as young as Crowley was, it was extremely wise. I'm struggling here with a deck of tarot cards to try to get something for us because I want to read something else. Here we go. I want to get that. The Chariot card. Now, the Chariot card, as we just learned here in the Wake world, is the path of Het. There's a Het there for you. I'm sure you're seeing it backwards. Okay, it looks like a hay, but the wall goes all the way up to the roof. And there's the Chariot. Now, he's got a cup in his hand there, a chalice. And in that chalice is the Holy Grail. And in that Holy Grail is what is symbolically called the blood of the martyrs, or the blood of the saints. It's the blood of all evolving life that has evolved through all the Sephira to that point. Okay. That blood has to be delivered to number 3 on the tree of life, the first stage of the supernal triad. Number 3 is where you land when you cross the abyss, and that totality of evolving consciousness, or that gets delivered by the UPS man of the Chariot. And number 3, where he delivers that cup, is Babylon. Or Nuit, if you want to look at it that way. But in this particular way of looking at things, it is Babylon. Now, when Crowley wrote the Vision in the Voice, or when Crowley received, I guess we could say, the Vision in the Voice, or experienced the Vision in the Voice, he was having visions and messages and things in his visions about Babylon the Great. And up until that time, he was spelling it Babyylon, like Babylon the city, or the whore of Babylon, as it appears in the book of the Revelation. But in the 12th aether, it's pretty high up, okay, the 12th aether of the Enochian system, and of course the aethers in the Sephiroth of the Tree of Life are, it's the same spectrum of consciousness, it's just looked at in different ways. And as a matter of fact, in this aether, it's explained. The 12th aether is called Loe. And here's the vision that Crowley got out in the desert with marching across the Sahara, North African Sahara, with Victor Newberg. Here's the 12th aether. There appear in the stone 2 pillars of flame, and in the midst is a chariot of white fire. This seems to be the chariot of the 7th key of the tarot, but it is drawn by 4 sphinxes. Okay, here we have 2. Diverse, like 4 sphinxes upon the door of the vault of the adepts. Golden Dawn furniture, countercharged with their component parts. The chariot itself is a lunar crescent moon. There it is, I think you can see it. Waning. The canopy is supported by 8 pillars of amber. These pillars are upright, yet the canopy which they support is the vault of the whole night. The charioteer is a man in golden armor, studded with sapphires, but over his shoulder is a white robe, and over that a red robe. Upon his golden helmet he beareth the crest of a crab. His hands are clasped upon a cup. From it which radiates a ruddy glow, constantly increasing, so that everything is blotted out by its glory, and the whole air is filled with it. And there is a marvelous perfume in the air, like unto the perfume of Rahur Kuit. Now, the perfume of Rahur Kuit is described in the Book of the Law as meal, honey, thick leavings of red wine, oil of a bromelain, olive oil, and softened and smoothed down with rich, fresh blood. And that's the perfume, okay? That's not the cakes. I gotta throw that in. The perfume is burned. And of the remnants of this, cakes are made, and it's the cakes that are eaten, not the perfume. Okay. All of that, the meal is burned to ash. The honey, the thick leavings of red wine, the blood, it's all burned in the perfume. Afterwards, of this, make cakes and eat. But I digress. I'll get off my soapbox. It's like the perfume is like the perfume of Rahur Kuit, but sublimated, as if the quintessence of that perfume alone were burnt. For it hath the richness and voluptuous of and humanity of blood, and the strength and the freshness of meal, and the sweetness of honey, and the purity of olive oil, and the holiness of that oil which is made of myrrh and cinnamon and galangal. And the charioteer speaks in a low, solemn voice, awe-inspiring, like a very large and distant bell. Let him look upon the cup, whose blood is mingled therein. For the wine of the cup is the blood of the saints. Glory unto the scarlet woman, Babylon, the mother of abominations, that rideth upon the beast. For she has spilt their blood in every corner of the earth, and lo, she has mingled it in the cup of her whoredom. Now, this is describing the dynamics of the supernal triad. Okay. The father they're speaking about here is number 2 on the tree of life. She's number 3. Okay. And in order to get to jump start and keep the engine of the supernal triad running, there's a dynamics between the father and the mother. Okay. And everything below the abyss is, I guess you would say, is the trickle down electricity created in the gelatin, like the gelatin of duality that is going on below the abyss. Okay, the essence of which, if you would turn your camera or turn the film backwards, goes to back to Babylon in her cup, which she takes over to number 2 to get the old man drunk again, so that they make love. 2 makes love to 3, okay? And in their ecstasy, they turn into 1. Or they realize themselves as 1. The supernal triad is only the singularity generating itself within itself. And everything else gets reflected as if through a looking glass. Just like I give life to the image in my bathroom mirror of my muscular, handsome body, I seem to give it life, and it has flat, one-dimensional life. But the real me's over here. Okay, below the abyss, below the supernal triad, that world is similar to that flat image. It moves, it gives life, it goes this way and this way, but it doesn't go that way. Okay, but I digress. The charioteer speaks in a low and solemn voice, awe-inspiring, like a very large and distant bell. Okay. I've already read that. With the breath of her kisses, she hath fermented it, and hath become the wine of the sacrament, the wine of the Sabbath. And in the holy assembly she has poured it out for her worshippers. And they have become drunken thereon, so that face to face they have beheld the face of my Father. Thus they are made worthy to become partakers of the mystery of this holy vessel, for the blood is the life. So sitteth she from age to age, and the righteous are never weary of her kisses. Therein is manifested the glory of my Father, who is truth. And that's what Constance was talking about. What is my truth? What is truth? It's the same truth. It's a singular truth. It is the universal purpose. This wine is of such virtue that it radiateth through the cup, and I reel under the intoxication of it, and every thought is destroyed by it. It abideth alone, and its name is compassion. And I understand by, quote, compassion, the sacrament of suffering partaken by true worshippers of the highest. And it is an ecstasy in which there is no trace of pain. Its passivity is like the giving up of the self to the beloved. And the voice continues, this is the mystery of Babylon, the mother of abominations. And this is the mystery of her adulteries, for she has yielded up herself to everything that liveth, and hath become partakers in its mysteries. And because she hath made herself the servant of each, she is therefore become mistress of all. Not as yet canst thou comprehend her glory. Okay, he's in the 12th Aether here. Beautiful art thou, O Babylon, and desirable, for thou hast given thyself to everything that liveth. Now do you see the reason that she is symbolically called a whore? She just gives herself to everything. For thou hast given thyself to everything that liveth, and thy weakness hath subdued their strength. Right out of the Tao Te Ching, guys. And in that union thou didst understand. Now remember, understanding is the name of the third Sephirah. For in that union thou didst understand, therefore thou art called understanding. O Babylon, Lady of the Night. This is that which is written, quote, O my God, in one last rapture, let me attain union with the many. And here's the paradox that, if understood, just sucks you right across the abyss. While most of us are thinking, I want to gain union with the singularity of God. I want to be one with God. Well, fine. But you can't do that unless you, in one last rapture, attain union with the many. This is why I can't get too upset when idiots, morons, and assholes post shit on my Facebook page. Because they're part of the many that I have to attain union with. I'm looking at myself. For she is love, and her love is one, and she hath divided the one love into infinite loves, and each love is one and equal with the one. And therefore she passed from the assembly and the law and the enlightenment unto the anarchy of solitude and darkness. Forever thus must she veil the brilliance of herself. Babylon, O Babylon, thou mighty mother that ridest upon the crowned beast, let me be drunken upon the wine of thy fornication. Let thy kisses wanton me unto death, that even I, thy cupbearer, may understand. And I'm sure we've gone over this morning. Anyway, that's our parking lot contribution for today. It is starting to rain, and I hope you have a good day. If you're in areas where it's ungodly cold, please stay in, stay warm, do something fun. And until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.